What's up, everybody? Richard back this week with another episode of the Warped Report, and we got a few things to talk about. We got some stuff involving Ed Sheeran and Bring Me the Horizon that I want to touch on. We have, remember when we talked about Chris Barnes, formerly of Cannibal Corpse from like 40 years ago? Well, Corpsegrinder has responded to him. We got that to talk about. We got Keith Buckley also kind of giving some comments about the Every Time I Die split. We have some new album from a metalcore band that's prominent. We have some tours, and we have some new songs to talk about. So with that, why don't we just dive on in, okay? First of all, hey, well, listen, we're going to start with the Bring Me the Horizon stuff. Actually, we'll start here. We got a video of them performing live. Of course, we won't play it here, but I have seen it. It's pretty cool. On February 8th, Bring Me the Horizon joined Ed Sheeran on stage at the 2022 Brit Awards to play Bad Habits. And, everybody's like, hey, we got a guttural, right? We got a guttural on live TV, which is really, really cool. And then, a few days later, it came out, Ed Sheeran has said that he and Bring Me the Horizon are going to be writing a song together. There's some really interesting quotes here. First of all, it says, we're going to be writing a song together. Playing with Bring Me the Horizon was a dream, Sheeran told the Daily Star. And then he continued on here, which this was really cool. We'll read this right here because this is all really cool stuff. Sheeran added, I got in touch with Ollie. We were going to write a song together, but then the pandemic happened. So when we were in touch, we were in touch. I've been a fan for a long time. Oddly enough, that's the kind of music I grew up listening to and had a Kerrang subscription. I listened to it constantly. And then he goes on to say, I actually said Bad Habits would be a bit of a wet fart if I was just going up there and playing it normally. The song is EDM, and they've, Bring Me the Horizon, taken it and made it a whole new thing. It was just like, you know what? These guitars are going to be great. It was a week's turnaround. We emailed each other 2 weeks ago, recorded it a week ago, and rehearsed it in 3 days ago. So lots of professionalism happening here, man. Like, getting this stuff done very quickly. And listen, there's some people online that have been mentioning, how can you speak illy of this? This is good for the scene. I honestly haven't seen too much of that. I've seen publications like Metal Injection, say we're embarrassed for everybody involved. And Tillian from Dance Gavin Dance also said something like, why? But, really, that's not a lot going on here. I think that that's what tends to happen a lot of times is that, when things like this happen, people will be like, oh, you people saying this is bad. Nobody really says that. It's just like some thing to in a way to kind of posture that, you're cool with metal and pop coming together. And of course I am as well, but I just think it's a little bit fake to be here and be like, oh my God, people are freaking out about this. Nobody was, okay? It was a guy from Dance Gavin Dance and a metal news outlet, kind of said something, but that was really it. I haven't seen flurries of tweets saying anything bad about this. I just think it's a kind of an odd posturing that people tend to do whenever these two worlds collide to make them look like, hey, we're here, man. We love all kinds of music, man. Metal's great. Metal needs to come into the forefront. I just don't really think. I think the overall consensus is that this is a good thing, and I agree with that. What's also a good thing is Cannibal Corpse frontman Corpsegrinder responding to Chris Barnes by, as the headline says here, the scene couldn't be better. We'll talk a little bit more about this, of course. But basically, if you guys didn't watch the episode from a few weeks ago, Chris Barnes, who is in the band 6 Feet Under now, and he was in Cannibal Corpse a long time ago. He was basically talking about death metal vocalists now and saying how bad they were, blah, 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 blah. So after the backlash, Barnes came out and said, I stand by my original statement. All the people trolling me proves my point. All the BA media making headlines off it proves my point. F y'all to hell, eat a beep on your way down. Okay, well, hey, you gotta applaud the man for some conviction, at least. But George Fisher, Corpsegrinder, he responds and he says, look, we're going on a tour with Revocation and Whitechapel. Two awesome, great bands, and the scene couldn't be better. And anyone who thinks otherwise, Kiss rocks because I'm proud of the death metal scene and I encourage everyone to go out. So, of course, he goes on to, mention some bands like that, like Morbid Angel, Obituary, Deicide, stuff like that. And, yeah, hey, listen, Chris Barnes, it is what it is. I thought it was cool that we kind of got a soundbite there from a legend himself in Corpsegrinder. giving some publicity, more publicity to bands like Whitechapel and Revocation. Of course, Whitechapel's been around forever at this point, but I just think that that's super cool. And also, he's mentioning some of the OGs as well. And, if you recall, Corpsegrinder did a feature for Ice Nine Kills. So, again, I think that kind of weirdly ties in to the Bring Me the Horizon thing, and that Chris Barnes is the type of guy who would say that it's a bad thing. Whatever. But, hey, the guy, it is what it is. It's it's just him trying to get some spotlight, I think. I just think it's kind of a weird take, especially from like a 50-something-year-old man. It's like, just, chill out. But, Corpsegrinder coming back with a response. All right, so now, as we know, Every Time I Die is split up. It's been a little bit of time now. But I guess you could say that the current vocalist, because I like everybody else left the band, but Keith did not. He opened up about the band's split. I did not see this coming. So he was speaking to a crowd at Signature Brew in East London on Monday, February 7th. And this was transcribed by Metal Hammer, so, courtesy to them. But a couple of things in here. I basically started off by saying the term artist never came up in my family. We never referred to each other as artists. We just kind of existed. And it wasn't until I got sober that I realized that the artistic spark is fundamental to every venture that you do as a human being. And if that spark isn't there, then there's no energy to push you into the next thing. And then we'll just continue down here a little bit. On that final Every Time I Die tour, it was undeniable that I was performing better than I ever have. I was on top of my effing game. I did not see this coming. I was led to believe that everything I was doing was working for the betterment of the band. I wanted the band to come out of the pandemic, shot out of an effing cannon, because I knew that Radical was going to do it for us. It was going to be one that finally got us to a Mastodon level or whatever. I'd come out of a marriage with a new approach and a new confidence to life, and I just wanted the band to have their time to shine. It's heartbreaking. However, it's not the end of anything. I can't say what the state of the band is right now. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that right now this is exactly where I effing want to be, and I'm very thankful to be here. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Radical, I thought that was a great record. I don't want to, gauge the band's success based off of my own interests, but that was like the first Every Time I Die record that I really enjoyed. And, they sounded great, and I think that they could have really gotten to another level, especially because, they're one of those bands that have kind of always had like that formula of 1,000 true fans. They're not the biggest band in the world, but they are popular, and I'm very happy, that Keith is, everything's going well for him, and I hope that, some new music from him comes out of this. We got a few more stories here to talk about. We're going to try to go a little bit rapid fire here because we are coming up against the clock. Had a lot to say there at the beginning, but Vane, Mind Force, All Out War, and Sanction members have launched a new project called No Souls Saved. They're going to release an EP later this year, but they have what it says here, and they've issued a 2-song promo release via Connecticut label Days, who will release the group's EP later this year. Okay, so right now there's a couple of tracks, minute 27, minute 14. Oh my God, that sounds great. I love this. I love the lengths of those songs. M-Band Animate are recording a new album. They're going to be recording it with producer Landon Tours, who obviously is in The Plot in You. And I have a source here that I may know who their next drummer may be. He's currently undergoing a tryout. But right now, I think M-Band Animate is looking towards Lucas Vitullo, who he is the current drummer for a band called No Eye Has Seen. I do know that he will be kind of trying out for the band, and he could be the possible new drummer of M-Band Animate. Next, we have Thy Art Is Murdered After the Burial tour being rumored. It's also supposedly going to be featuring Currents and Branda's Sacrifice. There's no official announcement, though, so far. But 2 shows have surfaced online, which are in Los Angeles and New York, so we'll have to see about that. That would be a crazy tour. Vane, who we just mentioned, Higher Power, and Drain announced the tour of the UK and Europe. That'll be going from June the 15th until July the 2nd. Don Broco and The Plot in You tour announced. It'll be Don Broco, The Plot in You, The Color 8, in addition to Fem and Ryan Oakes on select days. That'll be going from, looks like April the 8th with Fem to April to the 27th with Fem, and then with Ryan Oaks, April 29th to May the 21st. Next up, Ice9 Kills. They released a new short film for Your Numbers Up. So as you guys know, with Ice9 Kills, they like to release like these cinematic videos tying in the story of their albums, and they have released a new one. And we got a quote here that says, "We believe this newly unearthed evidence is not only connective tissue between the original Silver Scream and Welcome to Horrorwood, but also a breakthrough in establishing an additional motive in our ongoing investigation." Captain Harris, LAPD. So yeah, you guys have got to go watch that. You know, some more cinematic goodness from the guys over at Ice9 Kills. But they also dropped an animated video of Take Your Pick, which features, we mentioned at the top of this show, Corpsegrinder. So you definitely want to check that out. And then we got a couple songs to talk about. Crown Magnetar debut their new song, Realistic Flesh Mask, featuring Nick Arthur, Molotov Solution. Simply put, this song is heavy. If you like heavy music from Unique Leader Records, you've got to check this out. It is absolutely relentless, blast beats, and just insane vocals. And I think that Nick Arthur's vocals, kind of like that more hardcore yell or shout or whatever, really is a nice contrast to this song as a whole. Kane Hill, Drag Me Down. This was a very interesting track. It was still heavy, but it had like a lot of those kind of grungy elements that I like. And I think that it says here, you know, a quote from Elijah Witt, "Drag me down is my passion. Is my passion and desire to remain with the woman I love in life and evermore. Wherever our souls may go, in death we will remain." So I think this is really cool. And he also mentions here in the quote that they were inspired by Sleep Token, which you can hear it in the track for sure. You know, I really liked Power of the High by these guys, and I kind of didn't really like the rest of the stuff, but I did like this one quite a bit. And lastly, we got to mention the dudes in Spite. Again, if you want heavy, this is where you got to go. Very Slipknot. I think it was the video really kind of reminds me of like Before I Forget, I believe, by Slipknot, if I remember the track name correctly. But you know, this is a really cool song, multiple cool sections, very deathcore in the beginning, Slipknot in the middle, and then kind of more hardcore on the outro. But yeah, this is a really cool video. Well done by them. And shout out to my guy, Matt Thomas from Ashtone Audio, for mixing this song. Shout out to him. But there you guys have it, okay? Then we talked about everything. We got through the Bring Me the Horizon stuff. We got through the Cannibal Corpse and Chris Barnes crap. And we talked about the new songs coming out, some tours and whatnot. And I also gave you an exclusive scoop there as to who may be the new drummer of In Van Anime. But anyways, guys, till next week, same bad time, same Out of Line YouTube channel. My name is Richard, and I will see you next week right here on The Warped Report. Peace.